because they want to go for college and get job skills.
Yep.
I may mention here that I think corporations, the very wealthy corporations, are running things in this country, and that our administration is very okay with that. And I might mention that I think someone's pockets could be getting lined.
Oh, man.
Which brings me to the politicians. Where are our politicians when the majority of Americans have begged them to listen and either bring our troops home now or redeploy them to other hotspots around the world? What has become of our democracy? Does it even exist? The U.S. needs to change its policy, a policy that we have held since World War II, that we keep a base or bases in every country that we have invaded, liberated, or defeated. We must learn to play a different role in the world, of negotiator, or our reputation will sink even further among world nations and will invite more violence against us. My son tells me that there is a generation of Iraqi children who hate us very much. Can this war stop those people from retaliating when they grow up? Can any war stop a future war? I say no. If there had been a draft for Iraq, if our soldiers over there were draftees, this war would be over.
Yep.
The American parents of draftable men and women, and yes, going to be women, when it comes, would be demonstrating in the streets with amazing force. There would be a tsunami wave of parents in the streets.
Yep.
So you see, there will be no draft. And the weight of this war will continuously fall on the backs of our volunteer army. Now, I think that if the mothers of America got together with the mothers from Iraq, I think it'd be all over in 48 hours. Sorry, guys. Our troops are exhausted. They are stretched to the limit. They need to come home and rest and recoup. If they need to be redeployed, it needs to be maybe in Afghanistan, a country that truly does want to become a democracy. Let us not turn our backs on Afghanistan. Or let us send our soldiers to keep the peace in nations that sorely need our protection. Let us help these small nations, these starving nations, get on their feet. But there is more sad news before I'm finished. The talk is now of invading Iran.
Boom! They got more oil.
This is sort of, let's start a war to prevent a war. That's what this is. You know, it makes no sense. What is the charm of the Middle East? If we are afraid of the people there, what has created this fear? I think we have created this fear, and our government is just fine with that.
Absolutely.
It uses our fear to keep us thinking we must be on the offensive.
Yep.
Now, somehow, in some way, I have a dream to get war off the checklist of viable alternatives for nations to do in crisis. Because everyone loses in a war. Even the survivors lose.
Yep.
Even the so-called winners lose.
Yeah.
And the cost in precious lives, not to mention money, is just too great. Now, my dream is a big dream. So how do we make this dream come true? Well, you write to your congressman, Mr. Braley. You write and email your senators, Mr. Grassley and Mr. Harkin, regularly. Sign petitions. Join United for Peace and Justice, a national anti-war organization that is holding rallies all over this nation today. If you are a veteran, join Veterans Against the War. If you are in a military family, join Military Families Speak Out, another national organization in whose name I speak. Write letters to the editor. Participate in peace rallies like this one, in the upcoming caucuses, and work to change the path of this nation. Prove to Washington that we are still a democracy, and those we elect are public servants, not public masters. And finally, don't forget to pray. Prayer is very powerful. Pray for our soldiers, pray for our country, and pray that our leaders make peacekeeping choices. You can love the warrior and still hate this war.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you folks for having me here. I just have something quick to say before we start the tune. Listen, we only have one more year, and we have to more than just beat them at the elections. We have to create a mandate so huge that it will send most of these neocon rats back into their holes.
Yes.
All right, is that impossible? No, it's not impossible. If you don't think it will happen, then you're not looking high enough or you're not working hard enough. You have to dedicate yourself to this. I know. We have to be persistent in waking people up. Yep. All right, if we wake them up, they will educate and motivate themselves and start waking up others. All right, don't give up. You know, take it from the heart. Heart is where this project has to begin. And
Sandy. Hold it. It's flying.
all right.
Ask Patrick.
Angels cry, one corporation's rule, democracy dies, start a war, this time for oil, global greed needs global control. It's hard to exist in this perilous abyss controlled by unethical humankind who use fear, corruption, torture, and spin to keep democracy passively in line. I don't want to hear the last decades of my life without hope and faith in my heart or dignity in my pace. Past time we begin the evolution, equality for all with no exclusion, save the middle class and protect the Constitution, rid the world of dominance, conquest and pollution, maybe then life on earth will be coming.